What's going on, guys? JSGC here. I want to bid everyone a good morning here. In the UK, it is Champions League last 16 draw time, and Manchester City are going to learn their opponents in the last 16. We're going to find out who we're going to be facing on our road, potentially to retaining the Champions League trophy. So before we do crack on with this live reaction to the Champions League draw, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. We've got plenty more football and City content to come for you guys to enjoy. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up if you are enjoying the content. That would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this after the stream. Get yourself your thoughts into the live chat if you are watching right now. Matthew saying, come on, Manchester City, cheering City on. I do like it. Dalton, thanks for tuning in, saying 6 out of 6. We're crushing it in the Champions League so far, praying that we can continue our Champions League form, which would be absolutely fantastic. It's been the first time ever that Manchester City have won all 6 group matches. So City, of course, getting off to a very good start in the Champions League. I can't complain with how we've played in the Champions League and the results that we've managed to get. And as Dalton correctly suggests right at the end there, our Premier League campaign, just a thumbs down. It's just not been anywhere near as good. It's lacked consistency, whereas City's form in the Champions League has looked very good. And today's draw, so important for Manchester City because we're going to learn who we're going to face in the last 16 and a potential path to making it to Wembley for the beginning of June for the Champions League final. So, yeah. Much appreciated. Dalton just said we need to take advantage over the January transfer window, try and add a couple of players as well to help us with our campaign too. English Dawn, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Teddy says, feels like we should get Napoli or another Italian club. We'll see. My prediction, I reckon City are going to get FC Copenhagen. English Dawn said it'd be great to get Napoli. We'll have to wait and see if it is going to be Napoli. Julia, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Samia saying we've got to stay focused. We most certainly do, my friend. Ian, thanks for tuning in all the way from Australia. Love that one. Welcome Australia into the room, and welcome to everybody else that is joining me live here for this Champions League draw today. UEFA are going live in Nyon, Switzerland for the draw. They're currently just waffling on about John Terry. Don't think anybody really cares about that. We're just waiting for the main prize, and that's learning who Manchester City are going to face in the last 16 as we bid to try and retain the Champions League trophy. English Dawn could be very important in keeping Erling Haaland fit, and also Kevin De Bruyne as well. We should have him available for the last 16 onwards as well. Ian, thanks for tuning in. We've got India in the room as well. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for tuning in. So as I said, do get your thoughts in the live chat. That would be much appreciated. Predictions on who you think Manchester City are going to face today. I'm going for FC Copenhagen. Shalom, thanks for tuning in all the way from Jamaica. We've got India, Jamaica, Australia in the room. Love that. Thank you very much for tuning in. And English Dawn making a question there about Edison, said great with his distribution, but not so good at saving penalties. Do I think Caballero was a better penalty saver? I think Caballero is one of the best keepers I've ever seen at saving penalties. He's an excellent reader of the ball. He doesn't overcommit. He waits for the player to take the penalty and then he'll commit himself. A lot of goalkeepers make the mistake of falling for the trap where players are no longer allowed to stop when taking a penalty, but they will just stutter ever so slightly. And Edison always just seems to fall for that trick. And because he does, he commits himself. Players just simply need to stroke the ball in the opposite way. And more than likely, as long as you get it on target, you're going to score that goal from the penalty kick as well. You saw that with the penalty that Olise took against Crystal Palace. He simply just waited for Edison to move. And once Edison does move, he'll just poke the ball the other way as well. Whereas Caballero used to stay on his line and not commit. So all of a sudden, when it gets to that pressure point where you've got to kick the ball, Caballero hasn't overcommitted himself. And you don't know where it's going to go. And then Caballero will do a late dive or a stay down the middle. He's a good penalty saver, Caballero, Willie Caballero. I was amazed when we faced Chelsea in the League Cup final back, I think, in 2019. I'm amazed that more wasn't made from Chelsea when they tried to sub Kepa off at the time to get Caballero on. I'd much rather have had Kepa in goal. And that's what Chelsea had. And Man City went on to win that penalty shootout. Had he done as he's told from the manager and Kepa came off and Caballero came on, I'm not so sure Man City would have won that penalty shootout. There we go. Daniel saying he doesn't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. I want Manchester City to win the Champions League. It's all we're focused on today, but we will speak about the other parts of the draw as well. Arjen, there's no team I'm fearing today. We're top of the group. We're first seeds. We're the seeded teams. We've got a home match in the second leg. There's no one that worries me too much. I mean, the teams that are capable of potentially knocking City out all sit in that first seed, that seeded part of the draw as well, the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. And even then, I think City are capable of knocking them out as well. So there's no one I do fear. I look at it and I think maybe I don't want to face PSG because PSG do have a little bit of quality, but most times when we do go up against PSG, we seem to do okay. So I don't fear facing them. We could have it easier, but it is what it is. It's the last 16 of the Champions League. You potentially are going to come across some very good teams. So we will see. Dalton says, is anybody else missing prime Joe Hart? There's some Joe Hart love going in the comments. Dalton and Julia loving Joe Hart. Joe Hart did save a Messi penalty. He had an outstanding performance one time against Barcelona. Couldn't stop saving things, Joe Hart. He's a class goalkeeper. Is a class goalkeeper. Daniel, PSG, they're not that good, but they do possess the quality that can hurt Manchester City, in particular up top, Kylian Mbappe. There's no one in the way of Kylian Mbappe now. City play a very high line. It wouldn't be simply man marking him out of the game because it'd be played up front rather than through the middle. Anyway, Champions League draw. It's getting underway. So it's going to be the non-seeded teams coming out first. They're going to be at home in the first leg. And then the seeded teams, which includes Manchester City, they're going to come out second and they will be in the home match for the second leg. So FC Porto, they are the first team out of the draw. Manchester City can draw FC Porto. Who are FC Porto going to face? This could be Manchester City. They don't fancy a trip to Portugal? Let's see who it's going to be. FC Porto then. They're going to face Arsenal. English side out. It's not Manchester City. It's going to be Arsenal. Arsenal taking on FC Porto in the last 16 of the Champions League. Are Arsenal finally going to make it past the illustrious last 16 for the first time since God knows when? Arsenal then taking on FC Porto. It'll be a trip to Porto first for them. Next team out is Napoli of Italy. FC Porto just can't face Real Madrid because they were in the same group as them. So Bayern Munich, Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, Manchester City, Barcelona, they can all draw Napoli here. And to face Napoli, it's going to be... It won't be easy if this is City. Is Barcelona. Interesting tie, that one. Napoli taking on Barcelona. That's an interesting tie. Very interesting tie. Next team out of the pot. The non-seeded team is going to be Paris Saint-Germain. Champions of Ligue 1, just about made it through to the last 16. They can face Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, and Manchester City. Just Dortmund they cannot face as they were in their group. And we've already seen Arsenal and Barcelona come out of the pot. So this could be Manchester City. Is it going to be El Clasico that people like to call the tie? PSG then. Who's travelling to Paris? It's going to be... Real Sociedad. That's an interesting one. Paris Saint-Germain taking on Real Sociedad. That's an interesting tie. Very interesting tie. I wouldn't rule out Sociedad doing PSG, to be honest. Fourth tie to come out of the pot. Non-seeded team is going to be Inter Milan, finalists of the 2023 Champions League. Manchester City beat them 1-0, of course, in Istanbul, they can face Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, and Manchester City. Are we going to see a repeat of the Champions League final back in Istanbul on June 10th? Inter Milan, travelling to the San Siro first, and then the away match in the second leg, are going to be taking on Atletico Madrid. Sounds like that should be a really good tie, but I can imagine that being a very close tie and a couple of 0-0s, a 0-0 in at the San Siro and 1-0 Atletico is what I can see happening in the second leg. Next team out then of the draw is PSV Eindhoven of the Netherlands. They can face Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, or Manchester City. Who is going to face PSV Eindhoven? Remember, City can't face RB Leipzig. So if it's not going to be PSV, let's see if it is or not first. PSV, they're going to face Borussia Dortmund. So Manchester City, no, we can't face RB Leipzig. So it is going to be FC Copenhagen for Manchester City. I'm trying to think who the other team's going to be. I think it's Lazio, potentially, is the other. Next team out the pot is Lazio of Italy. Who's got a trip to Rome then? It can't be Manchester City. It can't be Real Madrid. So it is going to be Lazio taking on Bayern Munich. I think that's going to mean Manchester City are going to draw FC Copenhagen, which means my prediction is correct. Let's see, though. Wait for confirmation of that. I think I'm correct with that, though. I think City are going to face FC Copenhagen. FC Copenhagen next out of the draw. I don't think they can face Real Madrid because we can face RB. We can't face RB Leipzig. I am correct with that. So it is FC Copenhagen taking on Manchester City. Get your thoughts in that, guys. Spot on. It is FC Copenhagen. I cannot wait for all the boiled piss later on from all the rival fans. Manchester City taking on FC Copenhagen. A lovely trip back to the Danish capital for Manchester City. We faced them in the group stage last season, of course, drawing in Copenhagen, beating them at the Etihad. Not going to be an easy match. Copenhagen are a good team, but I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Last tie coming out of the draw is RB Leipzig taking on Real Madrid. And that completes the last 16 draw here of the Champions League last 16. Manchester City, the holder, is going to be facing FC Copenhagen. Very interesting, very interesting. So the draw is FC Porto taking on Arsenal, Napoli taking on Barcelona, PSG taking on Sociedad, Inter Milan taking on Atletico, PSV taking on Borussia Dortmund, Lazio taking on Bayern Munich, Copenhagen taking on Manchester City, and RB Leipzig taking on Real Madrid. Get your thoughts in the live chat. That would be much appreciated. I will have my reaction video out to this within the next, couple of hours or so for you guys to enjoy. My thoughts, though, I'm very happy with that one. Do get your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Social media links there in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe. That would be much appreciated. And I will see you all again real soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. I hope everyone is safe and well. Do take it easy. I'll see you for my reaction to the Champions League draw and giving some of my thoughts and predictions very soon. So I've been JSGC. Take it easy. Peace. Ciao for now.